Can you hear me?
I can hear you good now. How are you, Max?
Great. Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, Max. So, how's the day so far?
I'm loving it. It's a beautiful fall day here in the East. I live outside of Philadelphia.
Wonderful.
So if you know anything about this part of the country, it's autumn here. Where are you?
I'm from India, but I do know a lot about United States. So.
Great. So I've been to India a few times and I
Oh,
love it. Beautiful country, great people.
wonderful. Next time you come, we should probably meet, Max.
Absolutely. I would anticipate that'll probably be sometime in 2023. So I'll let you know.
Wonderful, wonderful, Max. Wonderful. So, Max, your new single Freak Boutique video was out on October 17th. So, would you like to tell me a bit about the song and the making of this video?
Sure. Well, the song is off of. I've got a new record out that's called Mobocracy Deluxe. So it's kind of like an anthology of two recent releases with some special things added to it in a physical kind of context.
Mm.
So it's what we've got right here. So Electric Talon just dropped it. Long and the short of it is, Freak Boutique is one of the songs on that, and it was written probably about 2020, 2019, something like that.
Mhm.
And it simply talks about those of us that dare to be different, how to be brave, and the consequences that can happen because of being brave. And I call out a famous Indian in that one, Mahatma Gandhi.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And the video was done by an American filmmaker and my friend Alex Wagner, and Alex is a great filmmaker, and he helped me with some other videos that I
Mhm.
did. And in the age of the internet, you certainly need a video to have, I guess, some heft to a single release. And we decided to do a little performance, a little bit of trippy imagery, along with some lyrical content. So, without selling the song too short, I used this metaphor of a freak boutique as a hypothetical location where people can be themselves, but also to know that there may be a price to be paid for um, being unique and following your own inspiration and your own calling, just like two of those important people that I noted in there that were, in my opinion, and with all due respect, the quintessential freaks of their time, Gandhi, and on the other side of the religious spectrum was Jesus Christ. So they're two examples. I'm not saying that I model myself after either one of them, but they're pretty good examples. It was a lot of fun to write the tune, and it got across what I was kind of feeling at the time.
Wonderful, wonderful. And as you said, Mobocracy is an album that came out in 2020. So, is there any particular reason that you want to bring it back again as a deluxe edition?
Yeah, well, there are a couple of reasons. One is there was some outcry for physical manifestation of it. So the album was Mobocracy was released in 2020, and that was at the in the height of the pandemic. So economics being as they were, we weren't playing live, we weren't selling merch, and we weren't sure if there was going to be any market for purchasing physical
Mhm.
manifestations of a record, vinyl, digital, cassette, whatever,
Yeah.
or CD. So we didn't do anything at that point. Mobocracy ended up getting Grammy balloted, which is a big deal here in the U.S. I didn't get, obviously, I didn't win anything, but so it got a little bit of traction that way. And folks were asking, hey, where can I buy this? Downloading it's cool, but in our genre here of hard rock, people like to do two things. One is they like to have something physical in their hands, and
Yeah.
I'm like that too because I'm old school. And the other is that they want to support their artists, and I lead with my wallet and I buy merch, and part of that is the experience of owning some music. I appreciate that digital is a convenient way to consume stuff, but I just bought something this weekend. Bought a disc, a vinyl of a favorite band of mine. The band is called Crowbot, and I bought their new record called Feel This. And I bought it because I wanted to support them, not because I live my life listening to vinyl, even though I like to, but it's my way of showing my love and my support to those artists. And that's basically what we were doing. And we wanted to do something that brought thematically the two records together that I did in 2020 and 2021. Mobocracy was the first one, but I wasn't quite done saying what I was saying for that period of time. So I did a record in 2021, which was a split with a label mate called Troll Teeth. And on there were some sonically, dramatically different songs, as well as thematically, they were similar to my record Mobocracy. So they always felt like they should have gone together, and this was a good opportunity. So without being too arty-farty about it, I wanted to bring that work together under one umbrella, and Mobocracy Deluxe checked all those boxes.
Wonderful, wonderful. And do you currently have plans for touring or sometimes 2023?
Sure do, because things are loosening up here in the U.S., meaning from a pandemic standpoint. There's been a lot of performance that's happening. I'm right now in the process of rehearsals with my band, and we're probably going to start gigging in 2023, if not a little bit sooner. So we're eager to do that, and it's probably going to be local to the East Coast here for the first few months, and then we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, the rehearsals are going strong. We're having a good time and really chomping at the bit. You know, recordings are one component to what we do, and live is this whole different animal. It's a tribal, primal experience with getting close to people, and we're really eager to do that. And you can't do one kind of without the other. I found I've been doing this for a couple of decades, obviously for a long time, and that's a big component for me and my crew. So it's going to be 4 pieces, 2 guitars, bass, drums, lots of howling, and we're going to reimagine all the songs that are on Mobocracy Deluxe and some new ones that are still unreleased.
Wonderful. And on October 28th, you put up this new record, Mobocracy Deluxe. So did you do something special on that day?
Well, yes, absolutely. First of all, I celebrated by thanking my audience. That was the first thing I did. And I'm a sunny side of the mountain kind of guy. So I got out doing some of the favorite things that I like to do, which is to be outside and to be with the people that I love. And that was mostly my friends and family. Played some guitar, wrote some songs. I've got a whole bunch of songs in the pipeline. So I was working on some new ones as well. And I was reinvigorated I'm always reinvigorated when a new record is released. So it kind of puts a period on one statement that I'm trying to make creatively. And at that point, since I'm always looking toward the horizon, I usually do find myself picking up the guitar and working on some new stuff. So it was good to have this one out in the wild, and it prompted me to do the things that I love, which is to get outside into nature, be with the people I care about, and to make more music.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I know it's a long career for you in the musical industry, and you've been making music for quite some decades now. So how has the journey been for you so far?
Well, you know, it's cyclical. First of all, I feel really blessed to have creativity in my life. I've always done that. And what you're alluding to may be that, you know, I had a career with an American cult rock act, a heavy metal act called Nitro. So we started in the early 80s, and we made some records throughout the 80s. And then we stopped making records together, but remained friends and kept the live thing going in various permutations. And I kept on writing because that's what I always did. And whether it was, well, I kept on creating, whether it was music or painting or photography or, you know, or, just writing literature, that kind of thing. I kept creative. So it was cyclical. And then started to come back around in the 2000s where I started to find myself in the studio a little bit more. And Nitro released some stuff back in the early 2000s. And then Electric Talon got wind of some of my stuff and said, hey, you want to make some records? And I said, sure. And here we are.
Wonderful, wonderful. And any plans to get back into the studio again?
Actually, I'm in the studio, not at this moment, but I have been in the studio for the past few months making two new records in parallel. So one record I'm going to be finishing up probably this weekend,
Oh,
and that one I'm going to save all the details so that when we talk again, you'll have heard it, and it'll be in a little bit more of a digestible form. But
mm,
this one is going to be heavy. It's trippy. It is somewhat psychedelic, um, and it's snarling and howling and slamming. So I really like it. It's got a little special twist that I'm going to save for later to tell you about. Once you hear it, you'll know exactly what's going on. Um, I'm really excited about it. It's going to be similar to what Mobocracy was in
mm,
just a general form, because Blunt was more organic and mysterious and acoustic and tribal, where Mobocracy was more typical strident, heavy guitar, snarling rock. Um, this new record, if all goes well, will be a split with some friends, and I'm prepping a handful of songs. I'm not sure which ones are going to make it and how
mhm.
many, but it's going to be cool. And I'm really excited about it. And obviously, when it's done, you'll be one of the first that will get a chance to hear it. Maybe we can talk about it. And then
Absolutely.
I'm working on a full solo record that's probably going to be released in 23. So this first thing that I was just talking about, not sure if it'll be out in 2022, but it should be out probably in 2023 early sometime. So always recording, always working on stuff, and I'm going to complement that with some live gigs too.
Fantastic, fantastic. And are there any other projects or collaborations that you are currently pursuing with other bands or artists now?
Yes, as a matter of fact, my solo experience has been a collaboration. I say it like that because with Nitro, that was a group effort, and I was one member of four, and we were a unit with a very specific mission statement. We were a band, and that was a democracy. And my solo stuff is more of a dictatorship where I have to collaborate, even though I play lots of the instruments and do most of the writing. I do all this collaborating. On Mobocracy Deluxe, I was collaborating with my producer who was doing some co-writing with me. His name is Electric, and was also co-writing with some of my friends. There's an American funk groove heavy band called Crowbot, and those guys I co-wrote some stuff with, and I'm collaborating with them and some of my buddies that are here in the Philadelphia area as well. I do some writing on the side for other artists, and I just came out of the studio a few weeks ago where I collaborated with this Americana fellow who's mixing urban stuff and acoustic Americana music, and wrote some stuff for him. His name is Michael David, and his record's going to be coming out in probably early 23. And some of the stuff that I wrote with and for him is probably going to be on there. So yeah, doing a lot of collaborations.
Fantastic, wonderful, wonderful. And I know, yes, decades of awesomeness. You might have a lot of great, great memories and moments. But is there something special recently that you want to share with me today?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that is probably most important, it connects to this live thing. Um, because we haven't had a chance to play in the typical live scenario that or
Hmm.
situation environment that we've been used to, and we're just starting to get back into that. I was doing a lot of busking. So busking, if you don't know what it is or your audience isn't familiar with it, is where you kind of go out into the street unannounced and start playing live for anybody that's passing by. So one of the things that I did on the 28th, or might have been the 29th, it was around the release of Mobocracy Deluxe, is to keep my chops sharp and to sort of satisfy that side of me that likes to perform live. Um, I was headed to the studio, so I pulled off to a favorite spot in the Philadelphia area and got out of my car and opened up my guitar case, and I started to play some of the tracks off of Mobocracy Deluxe. Just me, acoustic, live, without a net. And the cool thing is that people that pass by kind of look at you a little, uh, I guess, a little skeptically, wondering what you're doing and why you're there and why you're invading their space on that day. So it's really fun to do that, and it really satisfies part of my performer uh, side, and it also lets me test the material to see if it's strong enough without any sort of adornment of the studio. So I did that, and that was a fun recent memory that um, has been sticking with me and has prompted me to do it some more. So um, I'm gravitating toward more live performances, but that was a memorable one. I think I made about $10 in about a half an hour. So the guitar case was open. I played about half a dozen songs or so, and I made $10. It wasn't about the money, but right then and there, you find whether people are appreciating any of the things that you're doing or not. So it's kind of like I guess the analogy is standing naked in the middle of the street. It kind of feels like that, although I've never done that, but I would imagine that's kind of what it feels like. I've been performing for, more than 40 years here and there, give or take a few years. So I don't have stage fright anymore, but boy, oh boy, is that an adrenaline rush and an endorphin rush whenever you get the busking going. So that was fun.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing, Max. And do you have any plans for some kind of merchandise for the fans around the world?
I'm not sure if I understand. Say that again.
Any plans that you have for the fans?
Oh, the merch. Yeah, absolutely. I've got tons of merchandise, like all good artists do. So yeah, I've got a Bandcamp site. So as most folks do. So I do a couple of things. I do music. So I'm an artist in that realm, and I've got all the typical merch. I've got T-shirts. I've got patches. I've got beer koozies. I've got bottle openers, stickers, some unique stuff that I used in the studio, like sticks, picks, handwritten lyrics, and that kind of stuff. So I've got some Nitro memorabilia as well. So Bandcamp and Wax Mekanix. Now, your folks can find that pretty easily by Googling me or by hitting any of my social media sites. And the spelling of my name is a little weird, but if you just Google Wax Mekanix, WAXMEKANIX, you'll find me. And you can find any of the merch there. And yes, I've got tons of it, typical stuff and some atypical stuff. So I do music, and I have all the typical things there. And Electric Talon has the new Mobocracy Deluxe at their website, and they can pick that up. And I also do some other things. I paint, and I also I'm a photographer. So I've got a big cartel site where that kind of stuff can be purchased. Now those things are kind of one of a kind. I'm a painter painting on canvas and other kinds of things like that. So that's a unique piece of merchandise that a lot of my peers and contemporaries don't have, although some of them do paint and create in other ways. And that's one of the things I do. As you can see behind me, there's one of my newest ones. And there's another one there. So this one's not quite done, so I'm still working on it. That's why it's sitting there. So kind of when I do music, I'm also doing other things in parallel with it. So creativity is coming from the same kind of place in my life, and it manifests itself in different ways. One way, obviously, is through me making music, and the other way is for me doing photography or doing some cool paintings. And this is just fun. And some folks have approached me about purchasing them, and I've sold a few. And long and the short is that I've got a site for that where you can purchase that stuff. So that's a big cartel. All that stuff can be found at my at any of my social media sites. You can hook up with that. It's Wax Mekanix. It's Linktree/Wax Mekanix. You can find everything there.
Wonderful, wonderful. And as we spoke earlier, like there are 2 upcoming releases from you. But before the release date, do you plan to do a single release of any of those songs?
Yes, there's a real good possibility that what'll happen is this next release, this heavy, trippy, psychedelic thing that I'm working on, which I think is next in the chamber. There's one song I've identified, and I've been talking with my filmmaker buddy, Alex Wagner, and we're planning out a video for it. So what'll probably happen is in parallel, the album project will be released, and there will be a video single. And I promise you, when it's ready, you'll be one of the first to know.
Beautiful. And do you plan to take the band to all of United States to go on a tour?
We don't have anything scheduled yet, but the short answer is yes. And as soon as we can do that safely and not lose our shirts doing it, then we're going to do it. Yes, this busking that I've alluded to, I've been doing that for many years. I travel the world, and I busked in. Actually, I busked in Kerala one time. You know where Kerala is in India, right? So I busked there once, probably about 10 years ago, and that was fun. As far as coming to India, would love it. I'll be back there probably in 23 by myself and maybe do some solo stuff, and I'll certainly let you know about that. We've got following from all over the world. The latest record has gotten attention in Europe, obviously in India, all over America, Mexico, South America, and the Far East. So I think that what's happening is promoters are just starting to get their nerve back because of the pandemic, and they're booking guys that are way above my pay grade. Judas Priest and Kiss and Mammoth and those kinds of bands are out there touring in earnest because they make bigger financial sense to those promoters. So I think it'll come around eventually, though.
Wonderful. And Wax, finally, what would be the message that you want to give to the fans around the world?
First of all, is that we've been through some pretty weird times here, and we're coming out of it, and we just have to hang together. And without being too hippy-dippy about it, we have to take care of each other, and we have to try to stay on the sunny side of things. All over the world, things are kind of sideways, but we've been able to come together for the most part and to come through it relatively healthy. And I say it like that because I know some people have been lost in this craziness. My simple message is really simple, and I kind of try to live this way. If you love somebody, tell them that you love them.
Wonderful. And Wax, I want to thank you so much for giving me today this wonderful opportunity to have you on this interview. And thanks for letting me enjoy the music that you have been creating, and a great pleasure to listen to all your songs. And thank you so much for that and the awesome work you've been doing for decades now. And I wish to see you soon, my friend.
Keith, let me personally thank you. I know that there are so many artists that are buying for your time, so I can't overstate how much I appreciate the time that you've shared with me here. There are 100,000 songs released on the internet every day.
Yeah.
So on this side of the camera, it is just thrilling to me, and I'm humbled, and I'm so thankful for your time and for what you do. And if there's anything I can do to help promote your work and to make it more of a success, just simply let me know, my friend.
Sure, Wax. Thank you so much, Wax, and you have a great evening out there.
And you. See you soon in India.
See you soon, my friend. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.